I'm going to be ranking the best point guard cards right now in NBA 2K23 My Team. We have a tier list here ranking from S that goes all the way down to D tier, and we have about 35 of the best point guard cards right now in my team. And you guys can let me know in the comment section down below, what is your guys' favorite point guard to be running on your squad? And of course, let me know what you guys would change about my tier list. But first point guard here is going to be the Dark Matter Gilbert Arenas. I would say you got to put Gil somewhere in that B tier category. I think he's a great offensive point guard, 6'4", might be a little bit undersized, does have a 6'9" wingspan, but he's going to give you such good 3 hunting ability, and his defensive stats and badges are actually very solid for an undersized point guard. But the offense this guy gives you, with the O'Shea base, the Oscar Robertson upper on very quick timing, is such a good jump shot. He's also got the Kemba size up, he's got the Curry escape, he's got the Trey fade, Dame behind the back, quick drops off one, front clutches. I mean, the dude's just such a great offensive card that I know he's undersized, but I think you got to throw him somewhere in B tier. Same thing with Scotty Barnes, except for defense. Like, he's still such a good defender. It's going to be a little bit hard to rank these point guard cards because there's just so many that are elites, because Scotty Barnes, still 6'8" at the 1, plays elite level defense, has really good dribble saves, great at driving to the basket. And same thing with LaMelo Ball, like not defensively, but offensively, he's got a good jump shot. Still one of my favorite bases in the game in the LaMelo Ball base. It's on a lot of great cards in my team. Like, I'll just quickly show you guys, it's on cards like Tim Thomas, love that jump shot, KG, love that jump shot, Steve Smith, love that jump shot, Jimmer, Kazi Russell, all these great, obviously LaMelo, all these great cards have the LaMelo Ball base. Only LaMelo does have the upper because it's not the best upper in the game. But like, this card still got an elite level jump shot. I could see him possibly being in C tier, but I think for now he's going to be somewhere, I would say, in the B tier category. I love this James Harden card. I think he's super fun to use on offense. I just don't know if you can put him in the same tier as a Scotty Barnes, as a Gilbert Arenas. Maybe you can, because I do think he's really fun to use and he's great on offense. So I'm not sure if I want to keep him in C tier, if I want to move him up to B tier. I think I'm gonna go C just for now, but I'm not 100% sold on that. I might move him up to B tier later in the video. I just think some cards like LaMelo Ball, Scotty Barnes, Gilbert Arenas might still be slightly better, but James Harden, a great offensive point guard that I think is really fun to be using in game. Hero Ben Simmons, 1000% gonna be in the S tier category. I don't have his Titans version on this list as well, but he would also be in the S tier category. I just like to have one version of most cards, unless it's like an MJ, but I don't think I even put 2 MJs on this list just because they're basically the same card for the most part. Scalabrini, his hero compared to his heroic is a little bit of a difference, and same thing with MJ compared to his elemental. But I just wanted to have one card of each player on this list, and I do think both Ben Simmons would be in that S tier category. This hero one, though, I think personally for me is going to be the best point guard in my team. 6'11" at the 1, great size, great player model. His defensive stats are going to be elite. He's got great Hall of Fame defensive badges, 40 in total, which is amazing for a Ben Simmons card. He's got a 91 3-ball, 10 Hall of Fame shooting badges, which is going to be extremely good to have. And then he also does have the Trey escape, which is going to really help him just 3 hunt and create his own space and able to get downhill. That I do think Hero Ben Simmons is going to be currently the best point guard in my team, and I think you got to throw him at least in the S tier category. Isaac Bonga, once again, I think he's probably somewhere in B tier. I think you could argue A tier. He's a 6'8" point guard and does have a good jump shot, but I'll throw him in the B tier category for now. Am I crazy to say Devin Booker in A tier? He is pretty much an invincible card. Like, I know he doesn't have the greatest size and he's probably not the best defender, but if we're talking about the playoff D-book, with the 2 Evos, he's now going to have 50 Hall of Fame badges. Like, 50? You can't, like, a card can't have 50 Hall of Fame badges, a good jump shot, really good offensively. Like, he's almost got every Hall of Fame badge in the game. He's got every single Hall of Fame shooting, pretty much all the Hall of Fame playmaking badges that matter, and he's only missing, like, Chase on Artist, on Hoff, and Brick Wall on Hoff that actually do matter. Like, yeah, he's still missing, like, Aerial Wizard, he's still missing, like, Masher, Rise Up if you wanted to give him that, but he's pretty much got every badge in the game that you want on Hall of Fame, which is extremely good to have. He's got very good dribble saves, he's got a quick jump shot, with the Curry base, D-book upper on very quick timing, but the 50 Hall of Fame badges, the perfect stats. I mean, I don't see how you don't put not Ben Simmons. I don't see how you don't put Devin Booker at least in the A tier category. I will say Cade is probably one step below, somewhere in the B tier spot. I still think he's a great defender. He's 6'8" at the point guard position, has great size. He's got those front clutches, really good at attacking the basket. I just think his jump shot's a little bit slow and not the best defender in the world for a 6'8" point guard. Doesn't have the greatest stats or the badges, really relies on his height, his wingspan, and his player model. Curry, kind of like James Harden. I would say Harden's slightly better, but they're both really fun point guards to be using. I just think the guys in B tier are going to be slightly better in game. Not to say that Curry or James Harden are bad point guards, because they're still super elite and very usable in game. Curry's a great fun point guard to be using. Wish his jump shot was a little bit quicker. Sigs are obviously really good. He's got the quick drops off one. Maybe wish his defensive stats were a little bit better and also had more Hall of Fame badges, for defense, but I still think you got to give Curry at least the C tier category. Ousmane Dieng, I think for now is going to have to be in B tier alongside Elgin Baylor. I think they're both really close to being an A, and maybe they do go up to A tier later in the video. Ousmane Dieng, a 6'10" point guard, kind of like another Cade Cunningham, and then you also got Elgin Baylor, who's 6'5", so maybe a little bit undersized, but he's got great defensive stats. He's got an amazing jump shot with the PJ Tucker base. Steph Curry upper on very quick timing, I do think is a really good release. So I would say both these point guard cards going to be somewhere in B tier. Talking about Hedo Turkoglu, I think you got to give him A tier. He's a 6'10" point guard, has an elite level jump shot, plays solid defense because of his size. I'm gonna throw Hedo Turkoglu in A tier alongside Jimmy Butler. I mean, kind of the flip opposite to Hedo Turkoglu. Jimmy Butler is going to give you not really good offense, but he's still going to give you elite level defense. Being a 6'7" point guard, 94 interior defense, 98 perimeter, 98 steal, 92 block. He can still drive to the basket pretty good. He's athletic, and his jump shot really isn't that bad. A lot better than I was expecting it to be, on this version of the out of position that can play the point guard spot. Yes, I do know there's that playoff one that has that one Evo. He's just going to get some extra Hall of Fame shooting badges, which do make a little bit of a difference, but nothing's going to really get changed animations wise. So I do think the out of position Jimmy Butler still going to be somewhere in the A tier category. Iguodala, I don't know. I think you got to put him either high C tier or low B. I don't think Iguodala is better than anybody in B tier. That's kind of my problem with putting him in B tier, because I think everybody in B tier is better than him. So he's not a bad point guard, just like Harden and Curry. They're not bad cards, not bad point guards. I just think they're going to have to be in C tier. Jalen Rose, I'm really high on this card. I know a lot of people don't like him just because of his release. I think it's a very inconsistent jump shot for most people. For me personally, I do like the release. I feel like I can be pretty consistent with it, and I do like the timing of it. So for me personally, I think if you like his jump shot, you'll probably put him A tier. If you don't like his jump shot, you'll probably put him somewhere in B tier. Jamal Murray, I just think his release is terrible. I'm honestly going Jamal Murray in D tier. I know that might sound crazy, but I would use Curry over Jamal because they're both not going to be good defenders anyways. They're both not amazing at going to the basket. They really can't create space that well. I think Curry's probably got better dribble sigs, but Curry's got the way better jump shot, and he's a lot more fun to be using in game, and I definitely think Harden is a better point guard than Jamal, so I'm gonna throw him for now at least in the D tier category. Joe Ingles, I would say another B tier one, just a very solid point guard. And very similar to a card like Ousmane Dieng, doesn't really do anything too crazy, but 6'8" at the one and does have a solid jump shot. Hero Jokic, you got to go in the S tier category. Is he number 1? Definitely could argue that. Is he number 3? You could also argue that as well. Is he the second best point guard? I think he's probably 1, 2, or 3 in my opinion. I'd probably throw him number 2 just because of his size, like Ben Simmons. 6'11" at the 1, 7'3" wingspan, elite all around stats and badges, and then does have the Eric Paschall base with the Oscar Robertson upper on very quick timing. So got a good jump shot, with Nikola Jokic, and also because he's a hero, just like Ben Simmons, he's gonna have 40 Hall of Fame badges, which is extremely nice to have. Some of those extra hoffs can be really key to making a card better at their position, but I think Jokic for most people would be in the S tier category. J.R. Smith, the new point guard, I think he's probably A. I think he's really good offensively. Yes, his jump shot's a little bit inconsistent and sometimes feels a little bit slow, but he's still really good at going to the basket. I love his movement with the tray escape and the D-Mitch size up. He's really good at driving to the rim. He gets some amazing dunking animations that I think you got to throw J.R. Smith somewhere in the A tier category alongside KPJ. I know this might sound crazy to say, but I think KPJ is an A tier point guard just because of his jump shot and might actually be a better point guard than J.R. Smith. As crazy as that sounds, it's because he's got a way better jump shot than JR, and he's got one of the best, if not the best, point guard jump shot right now in my team. Luke Walton, I think he's on that same tier as Elgin Baylor, as Joe Ingles, as Ousmane Dieng. Just all very solid out of position point guards that I think you all got to throw on B tier. Luka Doncic, very similar to Jokic and Ben Simmons, you know, with how good of a card they are, that I think they all got to be an S tier. I think, in my opinion, these are the three best point guards in the game. Luka for just his pure offense, his ability to create shots and just take people off the dribble. Jokic because of his size, his playmaking, all that type of stuff, you know, his passing. And then Ben Simmons because of his defense and also his size like Jokic. Manu Ginobili, I'm throwing an A tier. I think he's one of the more underrated and kind of just slept on cards in the game, especially for his hero version that's going to have 40 Hoff badges. He's a 6'6" point guard. I think he's just a better version of J.R. Smith because of his jump shot and also does have slightly better dribble saves, not by a crazy margin. And I also do like his fade a little bit more than the normal fade because I'm pretty sure that J.R. Smith does have the normal fade. I just want to quickly check because I do like the D-Book fade a lot more. And yeah, he's only got the Pro too. So I definitely like Manu's fade a lot more. And I think their defense is very similar, but I like Manu's jump shot a lot more at the point guard position. So I think they're both going to be in the A tier category. Jordan, for me, I got to go S tier. Really good defender, great at going to the basket. I think you can make an argument that Hedo Turkoglu is better. I still like Jordan by a little bit more, so I'm going to throw him in the S tier category. Oscar Robertson, I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree with this. I've never thought he's that good of a card. He can be for a lot of people. I'm not saying he's a bad card for everybody. Just for me personally, never found him to be really that good. Pete Maravich, a great offensive point guard. I won't deny that at all. This card can still be used in game. Really fun to use. Great on offense. Can definitely still score at a high level. Just going to be a little bit liability on the defensive end. Kind of similar to a card like James Harden. Penny Hardaway, I'm going to go probably high B tier or low A. I do like him probably more than every card in B tier, so I'm gonna go A for now. You know, really good at getting to the rim. I think this card's amazing at going to the basket and just is a better Cade Cunningham. Ron Artest, I think, is gonna round off our S tier category. I like to have the top 5 at that position in S tier, and I think these are my top 5 point guards in my team. I think Ron Artest is one of the best, maybe the best defensive point guard besides Ben Simmons. You know, his defensive stats, his tendencies, his badges, and then he also does have a great jump shot and a pretty good offensive bag as well. I'll throw Derrick Rose in C tier. Maybe he goes down to D. I mean, Russ, I think, is also going to be in C. So maybe I throw them down to maybe I throw them down to D tier just because they're a little bit undersized. Sean Livingston, I kind of want to throw A tier, but I think I'm gonna go high B. I think Sean Livingston. Do I go B tier? You know what? I'm gonna go Sean Livingston in B tier. I still think he's a great point guard card. Marcus Smart, I'm gonna go C. Really good defensive. I think he's very similar to a card like Iguodala. I would throw Marcus Smart in the C tier category. Trae Young going in D tier, just 6'1" at the point guard position, and then I'll go Lonzo Ball somewhere in C tier. Good defender, decent size, just really has a terrible jump shot and not that great on the offensive end. So I think that's going to be my point guard tier list. I can maybe move Rose and Russ down to C or down to D tier because I do like these guys, and yeah, I'll throw them down. I don't know, because they're still really athletic, great at getting to the basket, and they're basically the same card. You know, I'll throw them in C tier. I'll leave them in C tier for now. I do think Trae Young and Jamal Murray are slightly worse than the guys in C tier, but let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about my point guard card tier list, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.